I want to start with something simple, you guys. And I've said it before, but I mean this sincerely. I thought and truly believed Donald Trump was a smart man, self made, self educated, well read, a businessman, someone who understands symbolism and what is going on in this world with the elite and the shadow government. I firmly, truly believe that. Just like the majority of you, some of you caught on earlier. But here's the question that just will not stop in my head. Why would a Trump era America introduce a Hunger Games style national youth competition on the 250th anniversary of the United States? Because symbolism is never accidental at the level Donald Trump is at the level Erica Kirk is at. If you don't know what I'm talking about, America has scheduled the first ever Patriot Games for the fall of 2026. Now, what I'm fixing to show you is verifiable. You can prove it extremely easy, but the choice is yours. Now, I understand for some of you, it is too much. You cannot allow yourself, and that's fine. For the rest of you who are truly seeking truth, hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and listen up. This is what's fixing to happen because if Trump didn't recognize it, then someone around him did. They recognized the symbolism. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they were banking on that we were going to be too tired, too exhausted, too emotionally manipulated to pick up on it or even push back against it. 2026 is not just a calendar year. It marks the 250th year since the Declaration of Independence as a document became real. It rejected kings, it centralized rule and state ownership of human beings. America was founded on individual liberty, local governance, God given rights. That's what we're supposed to be celebrating. So, whatever is attached to this 250th anniversary is extremely symbolic because this anniversary matters. Every 250 years, they do a great reset. Okay. This is a way for the occult to reinterpret how they see America. I cannot express that to you enough. There is also a new Hunger Games coming out in 2026 in the fall. We're fixing to break down all the symbology. And I will never believe that Donald Trump was not aware of the Hunger Games. Just like I used to defend him and say, well, maybe he didn't know there was a book out 1900, The Last President. Maybe he didn't know that when he named his son Barron. I'm at the point now I realize what's happening. Nothing's a coincidence, right? Nothing. Erica Kirk, I'll hear that in my head for the rest of my life. Welcome back, friends and family of the internet and fellow watchers on the wall. Let's get this going, friends, because I'm fixing to blow your mind. I'm fixing to show you something no one else is really getting into. By the way, let me explain to you what happened. Twice I tried to put the book up, Decoding Erica Kirk, on Amazon. Amazon flat refused. Even when I removed her name from the document, took her face off the cover, they flat refused. By the grace of God, Kelly, one of my moderators, and Leslie have been working on my Patreon. This is my Patreon page. You can just go purchase the book. You don't have to become a member of my Patreon. You can just go buy it. Just go buy it. It's called Decoding Erica Kirk, from trad wife to CEO. It's exactly what the video was about yesterday. Buy it, print it, and then start writing notes, because understand this, I had to be so careful they did not sue me. So you will see pictures in this book that will give you the information without me being able to write it. Wink, wink. You guys know what I'm saying. Go get this. It's on my Patreon. What is my Patreon? Starkey Farmstead. Just go purchase the book, download it, print it. You got this. Here are the other books we currently have available. Growing Under a Poison Sky, that's a physical book. And these are the ebooks that I've written recently. Decoding AI, Decoding Fear, Decoding Trump, Decoding Stranger Things, and the MK Ultra Connection. That is an amazing book. I mean, all of them are good, but that one was really good. Decoding MAGA and Decoding Social Media. There's also this one, The Fire They Started. That one's good because it's going to talk about Maui. It's going to show you some things there. And then Decoding Technocracy and Modern Day Lord of the Rings. Guys, I'm not lying. These books were Holy Spirit inspired. I'm not lying. So here's what's coming in the new Hunger Games movie that's out November 20th, 2026.
Welcome, Panem, to the glorious reaping of District 12.
Look at all that fog, right? So symbolic, you guys. The fog.
Twice the number of tributes. Twice the glory. It's time for the second quarter quell. Let the 50th Hunger Games begin!
I think these games are going to be different.
Look at the symbology there. Sunrise on the reaping. The Holy Spirit has been bringing me through gaining of knowledge lately. You, the ones of you, you amazing, beautiful, beautiful people, man. God is so good, but He created warriors in you guys, not just watchers on the wall. You guys are warriors. And we have gone through so much information about the sun god, the old gods are rising. You know it. I know it. Look at the symbology of this. So let's ground everything in fact, because you guys know I don't care about feelings, right? The Patriot Games are scheduled in the fall of 2026 in Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. They will last 4 days. 100 high school athletes, both male and female, from every state and territory. And yes, Donald Trump used that exact language, and I will prove it. That is a tightly controlled, centrally located, youth focused national spectacle. And culturally, Americans already recognize this structure. Why do we recognize it? It comes from the Hunger Games. Youth selected by territory and region. Representatives sent to the power, the center of power, the capital. Framed as honor, unity, and tradition, watched by the entire nation. The deeper purpose of the Hunger Games was not sport. It was normalization of control through ritual. It's long been prophesied with the New World Order agenda to merge Greenland and Canada with America. The world will one day be in sections, just like it was shown in the Hunger Games. So, if you watched the Hunger Games, if you haven't, I highly suggest you go watch them. They show a map of how the world is sectioned by region. It's the map of the Club of Rome. People still are grappling with why is Donald Trump talking about Canada and Greenland now. Decoding Technocracy will tell you why. It'll tell you who Elon Musk's grandfather is. That's the ebook I wrote, Decoding Technocracy. It'll tell you what's happening right in front of your face because knowledge is power. And if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals in 2019, it's the same map. Look at the dark blue. That's the US, Greenland, Canada. Flip back. Here's the Club of Rome, the North American Union. Same grouping. Okay. You see? Same one, guys. Same one. So in the Hunger Games, the games actually take place in the capital, right? Because that's the centralized seat of power which oversees all the districts, all the territory, all the regions. This symbol, for the ones of you who know, please drop it in comments. I'd like to hear what you think about that symbol. Because I know what I think, but I'd like to know what you think. I also found this like kind of mind blowing. Strength comes from unity. The Patriot Games 2026, Strength of the States T represents pride across 50 states. So you can go get your state. Look at that. Isn't that great? Get your patriotic t-shirt today. So Trump announces creation of the Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day athletic event with one young man and one young woman from each state, each territory.
In the fall, we will host the first ever Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day athletic event featuring the greatest high school athletes, one young man and one young woman from each state and territory. But I promise there will. In the fall, we will host.
The Patriot Games will take place in Washington, D.C., the symbolic heart of federal authority, military power, national identity. In the Hunger Games, the games take place in the Capitol, the centralized seat of overseeing all districts, all territories. In both of these systems, regions send their youth inward, the center hosts the spectacle, and the nation watches. This is not coincidence. It is the architecture of centralized authority.
Most spectacular birthday party the world has ever seen for America's 250th anniversary on July 4th next year. Already we've had big celebrations to commemorate the 250th birthdays of the Army, the Navy, and the United States Marines, but there is much, much more to come. We're going to have a good time. As we ring in 2026, Americans across the nation will see the iconic Washington Monument illuminated with festive birthday lights to honor the start of this historic anniversary year.
I showed you that the other day. Remember?
Then from June 25th to July 10th of next year, we will host the Great American State Fair on the National Mall, featuring pavilions from all 50 states, highlighting breathtaking innovations and celebrating America's exceptional history and culture. Frankly, you'll never see anything like it, and you'll never see anything like it again. In the fall, we will host the first ever Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day athletic event featuring the greatest high school athletes, one young man and one young woman from each state and territory. But I promise there will be no men playing in women's sports. You're not going to see that. You'll see
Thank
everything
God.
but that. As I first announced in 2020, we will build the National Garden of American Heroes featuring statues of all-time greatest Americans, and we will build a triumphal arc as we celebrate 250 years of American freedom. We are the only major city. We are the only major capital. We are the only major place without a triumphal arc, a beautiful triumphal arc.
And I showed you already what that's going to look like. What's going to be on top of it. Fiction often functions as psychological rehearsal for systems people would otherwise reject. So I can show it to you in a video and it begins to promote you. It begins to create in your mind that this is okay. Breaking, President Trump announces the Patriot Games. This was New Year's Eve. Look at the X's. In the Hunger Games, states no longer exist. Citizens are reduced to districts. Identity is economic and functional, not personal. In any system where people are represented primarily as a region, individual liberty becomes secondary to administrative efficiency, which is where technocracy comes from. For America's 250th anniversary, Trump is launching the first ever Hunger Games this year. Patriot Games. One male, one female champion from each state, televised nationally. Totally what we need right now. Very patriotic. Nothing dystopian about this at all. Now, this is where I'm going to blow your mind because this is the timeline nobody is calculating, nobody's talking about, nobody's even realized. I just thought I'd let you know that if the 74th Hunger Games was in the year 2100, that means the very first Hunger Games in reality would have been in the year 2026. Let me repeat that for you. The Hunger Games takes place after the collapse of North America and the formation of something called Pan Am. The book establishes a rebuilding period, followed by a rebellion, followed by the institution of the games as a punishment for the rebellion. Boy, does that not kind of fit into what we're seeing right now in 2026. When fans and scholars back calculate the fictional timeline of the first Hunger Games, it would align somewhere in mid-2020s, specifically the year 2026. That would be the moment the system transitions from chaos to ritual, the moment control becomes normalized, the beginning, not the rebellion, that matters. The Patriot Games will last 4 days. They'll be short, intense, and immersive. And the Hunger Games, the games unfold in a similar compressed time frame, long enough to dominate attention, short enough to not overwhelm emotion. Now, here's what I want you to understand, something called unity language. Both of these systems, both Hunger Games and Pan Am, Patriot Games in the US, both systems rely on identical language, honor, unity, excellence, celebration, tradition. In the Hunger Games, that language masked coercion. In the real world, it's masking conditioning. And I'm going to show you why.
Encore une mise en scène codée. Un agent ICE tire 3 balles à 3333. Encore une mise en scène codée.
A coded staging.
Un agent ICE tire 3 balles à...
An ICE agent shoots 3 shots at 3333 Portland Avenue
3333 Portland Avenue, au niveau de la
at
33e
the
rue.
level of the 33rd Street, and he passes in front of
Et il passe devant un tyrannosaure,
a T-Rex.
symbole du tyran. En face, on a le numéro 33.
Across the street from him, 3332 is the address.
32. Et le lendemain, à Portland, Oregon,
And the very next day, on January 8th, 2026, 2 shot in Portland,
le 33e État,
the 33rd state, another agent shoots
un autre agent tire sur un homme de 33 ans et une femme de 32.
a 33-year-old and a 32-year-old woman. Why does that matter? Go back. Look at what the ICE agent passed. Watch again.
Symbole du tyran. En face, on a le numéro 30.
There's the house number that the ICE officer that shot the woman the day before, 33 and 32. Now let's go back to Oregon.
332. Et le lendemain, à Portland, Oregon, le 33e État, un autre agent tire sur un homme de 33 ans et une femme de 32 ans. René a 3
The mother of 3 who loved to sing and write
enfants,
poetry.
15, 12
Her children's ages were 15 plus 12 and plus 6 equals 33.
et 6 ans, 33. L'agent a déjà reçu
The agent had already received 33 stitches.
33 points de suture.
33 stitches in his leg, so you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive.
Dans la symbolique maçonnique,
Masonic symbolism.
33 marque la Renaissance, comme le prénom René en français. Et la scène se situe à quelques blocs de celle de George
He's saying that this shooting was just a few blocks away from the George Floyd scene.
Floyd, parce que c'est la suite logique. Le choc
Emotional shock.
émotionnel crée les protestations. On descend dans la rue et le chaos
People take to the streets and the chaos is produced.
produit sert ensuite à justifier le changement vers un état
And all of this justifies a police state.
policier à la Hunger Games.
Hunger Games style. Do you see how the Holy Spirit connects things when you ask for the truth? When you stop being political, when you stop rallying behind someone because somebody else told you something about that person.
Parce que sans chaos, pas de nouvel ordre. Ice, c'est le froid, la machine sans empathie. Exactement comme l'univers de la saga. Trump, c'est Snow, celui qui transforme la violence en spectacle.
Celebration of suffering. I want every camera watching.
Et il
Palantir. Didn't I just show you yesterday? I did a short. I did it in my video that both the Ring cameras and the flock cameras are now under the control of ICE.
a même annoncé les Patriot Games.
We will host the first ever Patriot Games, one young man and one young woman.
Dans le dernier film, on voit les architectes du jeu, avec le logo
We see the architects of the game. Look at the symbol on the young man. There it is. Look, they're showing you in the Hunger Games. This is all Masonic.
jeu, avec le logo maçonnique, des professionnels de la mise en scène.
Friends and family of the internet. This is not a conspiracy. It's not some crazy thing that some of us just decided to see connections where there were no connections. Here's where everything converges. The next Hunger Games film, The Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping, premieres November 20th, 2026. Same year, same season, same national moment. And this film is not about rebellion. It's about origins, how the games were established, how people were conditioned to accept them, how ritual becomes normalized. It's the same game plan you saw in Rome's. Bread and circus. Keep them entertained. Why sunrise is not a neutral word. Across history, we see sunrise imagery and symbols, new eras, new orders, enlightenment, the golden age, authority over and through illumination. In ancient systems, sun worship placed power in what sees all. We've talked on this channel before about how modern systems are trying to replace God with light, truth with visibility, morality with progressive narratives. Sunrise on the reaping linguistically signals a new order being born. You guys, the fact that they named this new series, in the whole Hunger Games, that they named it Sunrise on the Reaping, a new order being born. A new order being born. I cannot stress that enough. Of course, this, everybody knows this is Putin, and he is telling you Russia isn't your problem. It's the elites of our countries, their mistakes, their short sightedness, their ambition. These elites are not thinking about how to improve the lives of you, your citizens, Western countries. They're obsessed with their own selfish interest in super profits. All I'm going to say is tell me why every single one of politicians sitting in Washington are millionaires. Every single one of them, Democrat and Republican. They go in, they're not millionaires. They come out, they're millionaires. Tell me why. You want to know what's happening? The mind war, the psychological attack against you and your family. I hate to toot my own horn. Go read the ebook, Decoding Social Media. You guys, the CIA and the federal government created social media. They created it to track you, to watch you, to control you.
This part isn't Charlie Kirk. It isn't even TPUSA. The strangest part is the lineage behind it. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino wrote a book called Mind War while stationed at the Presidio in San Francisco. Not a self-help book, not a political rant, a blueprint for psychological warfare. Mass persuasion, narrative control, cognitive terrain. And Aquino was also an open Satanist. He never hid it, never denied it.
Aquino and his wife, you are a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army.
Correct.
Now, and how does the Army feel about you being head of the Temple of Set?
The Army has known about my religion for the entire span of my Army career, which began in 1968. Mm-hmm. And there was a reasonable amount of curiosity, as there has been all the way along, mm-hmm. with what exactly is this strange and unusual thing. And I've talked about it in much the same way that I've talked here today on your show about it. Mm-hmm. And other than that, the Army has paid very little attention to it, the same as it would to anybody who was, say, a follower of Hinduism or of Buddhism or any other slightly unusual religion today.
So you just go about your Army duties and it's fine and
mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah. Now here's the part people skip past. Aquino didn't write Mind War alone. His collaborative with retired Major General Paul E. Vallely. Fast forward. Vallely sits on the board at Turning Point USA. So take a step back. Strip away the merch, the slogans, the crowd noise. What is TPUSA actually doing? It's not just debating ideas. It's persuasion at scale, changing minds, moving groups, steering perception. And when the same people tied to a psychological warfare playbook are embedded inside a movement built to shape mass belief, coincidence stops being a useful explanation. This isn't about symbols. This is about methods. Because Mind War doesn't care what flag you wave. It only cares that you don't notice you're waving it.
Friends and family of the internet, please make sure you hit the like button, that you're subscribed. Reaping as a ritual. The reaping is not random selection. It's a ceremonial sacrifice. Whoever came up with the title of that movie to come out in 2026, they're all in it together. I just showed you, you guys know it, right? It's public, it's televised, it's normalized. The fact that a film about the origin of the ritual releases in the same year America celebrates independence should make people slow down. This does not require believing. There is a secret meeting. There is a single mastermind. There is an openly admitted plan. Modern power works through narrative alignment, symbolic repetition, entertainment synchronizing. Sometimes systems echo each other because they are built on the same psychological architecture. Scripture warns us about this, friends. God told us that nations would be deceived. He did. He said that power would come masquerading as light, that ritual would replace righteousness, that youth would be claimed by the systems of age. They would be sacrificed. They would be reaped to Baal. Discernment is not fear, it is wisdom. So the real question is simple. Why does a nation founded on individual liberty need a centralized youth spectacle to celebrate independence? Why does freedom now arrive through which ritual? And why does that moment align so precisely with a fictional warning about how liberty is lost? If Donald Trump is as intelligent as us ex-supporters and still supporters believe he is, then he understood the symbolism and how it would land. He knew, guys. And if he didn't, that might be even more concerning. Because America is standing between two stories right now. We are smack dab between two stories, friends and family. Freedom, independent sovereignty, or new world order, antichrist. We're right there. And if you still don't believe that Trump is going to have a Patriot Games with high school competitions, it was in tons of news articles. This one came out December 19th, 2025. Donald Trump announced a new high school athletic competition in celebration of the 250th anniversary. The competition is called the Patriot Games. But if you really want to know how they're controlling you right now, what's going on, let me show you. This guy is great. I'll link everything I'm showing you in the description, but his name is Ryan Macbeth. I hope he lets me show you this short clip. He is a computer analyst. So he's going to show you how bots are propagandizing you, whether you're left, right, or center. If you're on Twitter or what they call X now, YouTube, TikTok, and the bots are controlling you. Listen.
Was by ChessChick01, who said, she is ordered out of the car. She refuses. She backs up. She drives forward into an ICE agent. ICE agent pulls out a gun only when she starts moving forward into his body. Self-defense, case closed. Now, following that tweet were about 23,000 replies and 29,000 shares. But the actual number of repeats of that phrase from inauthentic profiles were 28%. This is following the hashtag of ICE agent and Renee Nicole Good. So if you interacted with anybody on these topics, they had the text her car, you had a 28% chance of interacting with an inauthentic user or one of our adversaries. The next phrase is she was driving away. In this case, 34% of the interactions were inauthentic. So here's an example. The inauthentic user Adam Media said, breaking, Trump says that woman killed by ICE ran over ICE agent. As you can see, this isn't true. She was driving away and shot while turning away from agents. This was viewed 5.4 million times. This was the highest viewed item. This is pretty darn scary. You had a 1/3 chance of interacting with someone who wasn't real, someone who was designed to drive your anger. Next is the phrase legal observer, which was actually the first pattern that I noticed. This was from Representative Jerry Nadler, from Representative Sarah Jacobs, from a Muslim civil rights organization, and from Representative Ilhan Omar. And a lot more after that. And that was kind of the first clue that this particular line, legal observer, might have been part of a script. In the intelligence community, this is what we call a clue. So it certainly looked like some sort of talking points were sent out to use the words legal observer. When I saw this, I thought, oh, this was a bystander who was legally observing something, right? Like you're standing on the sidewalk, you're observing legally. I mean, when you're in public, you have no reasonable expectation of privacy. That's why it's legal to record somebody outside your home on a Ring doorbell. But no, a legal observer is an actual program from the National Lawyers Guild where you monitor, observe, and document government conduct against First Amendment protected activity, provide arrest support for protesters on the ground, and help support teams track and help arrested folks, and empower activists and serve as a deterrent to unconstitutional behavior by law enforcement. So was this person a legal observer who was legally observing? Were they obstructing police activity, or were they just a scared woman in a minivan who was wrong place, wrong time? I don't know. But what I do know is that 25% of the accounts who use this term are inauthentic. The highest interaction with over 1 million views came from an ex-account called Young Walk-In, who said, "This is a dividing line for America. If you think a 37-year-old citizen mom, legal observer, deserves a bullet to the head for some mass federal Gestapo, you are just beyond the pale. I don't recognize you as a good faith actor, someone whose opinion is worth a damn." The interesting part is that many of the interactions of this particular account were likely AI generated from inauthentic accounts, such as, did she show her legal observer card while blocking ICE agents? Is that a get out of jail card? Need to get me one of those. Again, this is designed to enrage you.
And if you watched my Decoding Erica Kirk video yesterday, I showed you at the very front of the video. They're harvesting your energy, and Americans are falling for it. They're flat falling for it. That's why I'm pulling back from the whole Minnesota ICE shooting. And I'm just pulling back. You're not harvesting my energy. You know why? Because I was created for a time such as this, which means God equipped Samantha with unique capabilities. Every day I write a new ebook. You heard me. Every day I do a 30, well, I don't remember the last time I did a 30-minute video. Yeah, when I did the prayer and the one on what the law says ICE's rights are or whatever, those were short. I usually do an hour to an hour and 30 long video a day. I answer everybody's questions, I do research, and I write an ebook a day. Why? Time is short. I could sit on my computer and debate with strangers or bots, people from foreign countries, or an AI generated response, but I choose not to. And when you pull the plug on who's controlling you, when you stop allowing them to give you a if and. Well, imagine if Kamala was president, Samantha. Why? That is not reality. That's like saying if. My daddy is the most brilliant man in the world. He once told me I was kicking myself. This is after I found out my kids had been, some of you know that story. Anyway. And I just kept saying, if I had not, if. And my father looked at me and he said, Samantha, pumpkin, never say if. If will drive you crazy because it's not reality. It doesn't matter if Kamala had become president because she didn't. So my reality is firmly rooted here. I don't want to talk about if Kamala had become president because Kamala didn't become president in this reality. So let's focus on what we can fix and not on if something was different. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Stop allowing them to manipulate you. It is okay to say, you should stop your vehicle when a police officer tells you to. It is okay to acknowledge that and be nuanced and in the same voice go. However, 3 bullets in the face is a bit much, especially when that ICE agent walked around her vehicle while she was looking this way at another ICE agent and was reversing and then turned her wheel, especially when she might have bumped his leg and run over his foot. It's also okay to say that you understand why he pulled his weapon and shot the first time. I totally get that. But it's also okay to say 3 shots in the face may have been a wee bit too much. It's okay to say that you don't even know that you necessarily believe all this happened. It's okay to say at this point that you know that your country's moving into a police state and that maybe, just maybe, things aren't what they seem. Do you see how I did that? It's perfectly okay to be nuanced. I don't have to say, yeah, she deserved to die. She was probably unsaved, folks. I mean, I don't know her, but she was married to a woman. She was very angry. She was obviously pretty darn liberalized. Chances were she had unrepented sin and did not have the blood of Jesus in her heart. So I was reading in the book of Matthew last night with Stephen, with Jesus in chapter 13. I also now understand why the Mormons named one of their books The Pearl of Great Price. That's in chapter 13 of Matthew. You just want that bit of knowledge. God was talking about heaven, but he was also talking about hell. Talking about throwing, how the angels will throw people into the furnace and there will be gnashing of teeth. And I thought about that young woman. See, when I go to bed at night, I ask God to give me the heart that he has. God does not care about politics. He does not care. He cares about you. But he's not sitting up there rooting for America or Russia or anything. He's just not, you guys. Like, come on now. But we are at a turning point. I feel sometimes like America is a frog in a pot. See, the thing about boiling things is that you tend to put it in the pot while it's alive and the water's cold. Some of you may know that, some of you may not. And then we raise the temperature. And it just dies. But it won't come out of the pot because it keeps adjusting. It keeps adjusting. And then finally it can't adjust to the boiling temperatures and it dies. That's what's happening to you and I right now. A slow boil. And it's being done intentionally. And you're going to see people in the comments of this video. Some of them will be bots, but some of them have been here for a while saying, I don't see anything wrong with Patriot Games. You're just making a big deal out of nothing. I don't understand what happened to you. God woke me up. Because if you don't see the connection from Patriot Game to Hunger Games, the way the book would have started in 2026 would have been the first Hunger Games. How the map in Hunger Games is the exact same map as the Club of Rome. And then in the preview of the movie, Sunrise Reaping, seriously, the title, there's Masonic symbology. If you don't see that, I love you guys so much. I've got things to do today, a lot of things to do today. So this will be probably my own video, my last only video, unless something just, but hey, that's every stinking day, right? We have been in January for 11 days. No, 10 days. And look at all the things that have happened. Keep your heads up. Thank you for the ones of you guys that have been supporting us. I really appreciate you guys. I had to start sleeping in my own bed again because, at 51, it hurts to sleep on a mattress on the floor. It hurts. But I'm saving up to get us a new mattress. And I have to get they have these mattresses now, you guys, when they sit up, like if you're sleeping, the base of where your mattresses are on, the base has got like technology, right? And my husband has sleep apnea, but he can't wear his mask right now because they got to redo all of his face. This bed would notice his sleep pattern and it would gently shake him, right? Like gently shaking to get him to breathe in a normal pattern, or it would gently lift him up. So I've got to be able to afford that bed and that frame, and I priced it for a king. What? I could buy a used car, a really nice used car for the price I'm going to have to pay for that. But it's what, I mean, we're 50, I'm 51. He's a baby. He's in his late 40s. So my thing is this, I'm going to have that bed until I go to heaven or until God takes me. So it's worth the money. It's an investment because there's something about sleeping beside your spouse, right? I mean, it's like what do they call it when your baby sleeps? It's co something. Because I always slept with my babies, but I had this really cool thing that they make. It's a little box with soft sides, but the sides stay up like this where you can't roll over your baby. And my babies would sleep in that in the bed with me because I breastfed. So I always have my babies just in the bed with me. But make sure you don't roll over because that does happen. But I'm rambling. I just wanted to tell you guys that. I love you guys so very much. Thank you. Thank you for your time, for being here with me. Like, comment. You probably can't hype it. If you can, go for it, but please share this out. Wake up, folks. Donald Trump's not an idiot. He knows exactly what he's doing. Exactly.